Punch newspaper and a host of others to look at this morning. Welcome to the program, and of course we'll start off this morning with the 𝐃𝐈𝐒 and quite a number of top stories here on the front page of the cable. Naira appreciates to 1,280 Naira per dollar at parallel market. More headlines here on the cable. I stand with you. Buhari tells Tinubu in birthday phone call. Nigeria recorded over 1.5 billion Naira forex inflow in March, says CBN. Sources: NTC asks telcos to bar SIM cards not linked to NIN. Your seeds of patience will bring good fruits, Tinubu tells Nigerians in Easter message. Tompolo shuns Tinubu's wish for low-key birthday, buys out front pages of dailies. Tinubu to clerics: don't condemn or curse Nigeria in your sermons. This is a beautiful land. I was thrown into selling boxer shorts. First news editor narrates ordeal in military detention. More here, says Yemi Adamolekun. Nigerians need to understand country's challenges to drive civic engagement. Your leadership has been excellent. Wishing you robust health. Buhari Osibajo celebrate Tinubu on birthday. He will lead Nigeria out of trying times. Sunday Dari Odudu Fayemi celebrate Tinubu at 72. Your foray into politics was never a mistake. Okpeyemi Bamidele celebrates Tinubu at 72. These are some of the headlines there coming out of the 𝐃𝐈𝐒 this morning. We also take a look at the Punch newspaper and also take a couple of headlines here on the front page of the Punch newspaper. And of course, the big story here on the front page of the paper is the police NSCDC beef up security and worship recreational centers. And we also have this: I didn't ask prime boy to run away, says Mohbad's father. Suspended treasurer spokesman disagree on Labour Party chairman's re-election. Economy records over $1.5 billion inflow in there, says CBN. Local vehicle manufacturing begins soon, declares industry minister. You also have this one: police arrest man for stealing 23 cows in Gombe. Another top news: I'm committed to Tinubu's success, says Buhari. Ajakaju, how Bobrisky Award tore Nollywood stars apart. And that's a bit of entertainment there on the front page of the Punch newspaper. You also take a look at the Metro Plus page and also see a couple of stories here. Police nabbed 2 one-chance robbers in Ogun. 3 suspected oil thieves arrested in Anambra. Kidnappers invade Ogun Church, abduct 2 worshippers. And that's a bit from the Metro Plus page of the Punch this morning. From the business, economy records over $1.5 billion inflow in there, says the Central Bank of Nigeria. The appears of taking that. The last one here, we are going to be taking: local vehicle manufacturing begins soon, declares industry minister. These are some of the headlines out of the Punch newspaper front page this morning. The Guardian is saying, with Tinubu, Nigeria will surmount economic challenges. That appears to be coming from Alex Otti. Federal government bows to pressure, approves 90 billion Naira subsidy for Hajj fares. That's according to a report. Imo governorship dispute. WAEC confirms Uzodima's results certificate. CBN sells 1.64 trillion Naira treasury bills, targets investors. Concerns with democracy. SAN's viable opposition in Southwest. We're looking more news here coming out of the front page of the Guardian. Bayelsa supply of medical supplies through drones excites rural communities. And more here says, why illicit drugs business still booms in Nigeria. And of course that appears to be coming from the NDLEA. Tinubu set to break 40-year jinx on Mambila hydropower projects. NDPC to scrutinize NIMC's licenses over data breach. All of that as some of the headlines out of the Guardian this morning. Then we'll take this as the last one. Nigerian Catholics reenact the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. All of that from The Guardian. We'll move over to the Nation newspaper and also take more headlines there. CBN reports over $1.5 billion forex inflow in March. Buhari in phone call with Tinubu on 72nd birthday. Tinubu to Nigerians, your sacrifice is paying off. Okay, Delta killings, monarch whisk to Abuja. Hajj 2024 intending pilgrims lament high airfare. Amor here says Ondo 2024 ZLP, YPP, PROP orders to field candidate. Kwara communities reject accusation of land for smart city projects. Amor here says gunmen invade Ogun Church, abductee worshippers. Bauchi teenager stabs 15-year-old boy to death. Ex-Lagos PDP National Assembly candidate rejects litigation. All of that appears to be some of the headlines here on the front page of the Nation newspaper. And let's see if we could take one more before leaving the paper this morning. And of course, from the entertainment side, this is saying Rita Edochie pays tribute to Kambili Edochie 1 year after death. And all of that you are making the headlines there on the front page of the Nation newspaper. Let's also look at your insight and pick a number of headlines there on the your insight this morning and see if you could get a couple of headlines here on the front page of the news engine this morning. All right, we have this one. Celebrating a visionary leader as President Bola Ahmed Tinubu marks 72nd birthday anniversary. Vision 2030, Arido Islamic International Foundation appeals for collaboration. And let's see, Olubadon. Plan against Ladoja Tikins as colleague bypass him, appoints Oyewole as Afobaje. I think that's actually taken over by events. They've been quite a number of development. And of course, Cyclo Road Makinde jerked it from 70 billion naira to 300 billion naira in 5 years, demolition people's houses for selfish interest. Those are some of the headlines there on your insight this morning. Austin Idumi will be joining us very shortly for the paper review. But before we have Austin on the program this morning to do the analysis proper, we'll take more headlines there out of some of the national dailies in the country. All right, let's take a look at the Daily Post and let's see some of the headlines here on the front page of the Daily Post and say if we can pick one or two headlines before having Austin on board. All right, from the Daily Post this morning, we have LP crisis, unite party or leave ex-presidential aspirant Des Peter Obi. Okay, bank recapitalization, CBN moves to check illicit fund partners, security agencies. And Easter, your sacrifices over my reform policies yielding fruits, Tinubu tells Nigerians. UCH, patient staff grown as power outage persists over accumulated debt. Major looms here as CBN raises capital requirement for banks in Nigeria. All right, let's see more headlines here. Bauchi government subsidies at fare hike by 50%. Port Harcourt Aba rail line, Nigerian government announces new dates to begin operation. All right, let's take a look at the Premium Times and also see if we can get some headlines out of here. Exclusive here: UK authority suspends Nigerian nurse over dishonesty, may strike name of register. Okay, and more headlines there says how Nigeria's stock market fared this week. Nigerian government upgrades medical centers, university gets teaching hospital, and Nigerian journalist Segun Olatunji narrates ordeal in military detention. Nigerian thrown into darkness as power grid collapses. Okay, and we'll take this one. Murder of 17 soldiers, Nigerian army whisked away monarch who surrendered self to police. How vandals disrupt power supply in Southeast Electricity Company. And all of that appears to be some of the headlines here on the front page of the Premium Times. We take the Daily Trust as a last paper here. Senate will lift Ningi's suspension soon Akpabio, that's coming from the Senate President. Updated wanted Delta monarch flown to Abuja, and Kwara governor commends Abiodun on infrastructure. Disquiet over Tinubu's appointment. Lafia resident grown over water scarcity. And we have the SWAMA appointment recognition of women's potentials. Kano local government caretaker chairperson is saying that. And all of that appears to be some of the headlines here on the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. We now have Austin Edumo joining us virtually this morning to do the analysis proper with us. Austin, good morning. Okay, can you hear me, Austin? All right, while we try to connect with you again, it's still the Break It Down Papers review here on 32 FM 94.9. And of course, we're taking some of the headlines out of the national dailies in Nigeria right about now. We have Austin Edime joining us virtually for the paper analysis. Good morning, Austin.
Good morning, GBOLABO, and thank you for having me.
Fantastic. Okay, good morning, Mr. Austin. All right, there have been a lot of headlines here. I know that you've also been following in terms of some of this development, but I wanted us to start off with this monarch who showed up and showed himself, saying that, well, he doesn't have anything to hide. He's not behind some of the heinous crime that happened that led to the death of about 17 soldiers in Delta State in the Okioma community. And now he's shown himself. He went to surrender himself to the police, but now whisked away by the army. Now, Austin, is this a Gestapo style of approach? Because it's a civil system of government. If I want to say, some people would say it's a civilian government. Some would say it's a democratic system of government. But whichever way we choose this morning, but then shouldn't the police have the power to prosecute here, given the fact that this happened within the domain of the country and it's not like an external aggression? But the army has taken the man away. Would we say that this is Gestapo style of approach here?
Well, thank you once again and good morning.
Good morning.
I don't want to believe that it's a Gestapo kind of scenario. When you say whisk away, that is from the newspaper headline. He was actually taken to Abuja for further interrogation. Concerning the death of our soldiers, what we want to see in the days ahead is professionalism and diligent investigation. We must thoroughly investigate, no matter the level of compensation that we put in. The life that has been lost cannot be brought back. But justice at the long run must be seen to be done. And at the end of the day, people can be placated one way or the other. Because the manner in which those officers and soldiers were brutally murdered and dismembered is really uncalled for. So whatever that we have to put into it as a country to unravel and to actually arrest those who perpetrated that heinous crime is not too much for us, a sacrifice as a country. Having said that, the monarch was part of the people that were declared wanted. Now he has turned himself in. That means he's a law-abiding citizen. He has said he was not part of it, that he does not know the reason why his name appeared. Of course, we can't just say because he said that he should be allowed to go. We must also understand that even those that participated in the killing, when they are arrested, they will still say they are not part of it. I'm not in any way saying that this monarch might be part of it. That is the area where thorough and diligent investigation comes in. He's not also the only monarch around that area. So why did his name come up? So these are salient areas that we want the Nigerian authority to investigate. The responsibility to prosecute lies within the police. The army cannot prosecute. The army can only court martial members of the armed forces or members of their force. Even if army make arrest, they will still have to hand them over to the police for prosecution, because by law, prosecution rests with the police. So the monarch has been taken to Abuja. Let the military authority, the police, the investigative agency, let them be professional. Let us do thorough and diligent investigation. It is even still sad that till now, after how many days that has happened, we have not been able to get a clue as for those who killed them. Of course, it happened in Okwama community. Who knows? If we do thorough investigation, plus or minus, it might not even be people of Okwama. That's the truth of the matter. It can just be some people from somewhere who decide to carry out that attack in order to just give the dog a bad name. It's a school of thought I'm just painting, for example. So that is the area where we need thorough investigation, because there have been a lot of cases, a lot of scenario, a lot of assumption, insinuation, and what have you. And we're also appealing to traditional rulers around that area. We're also appealing to community leaders. We're also appealing to opinion leaders, community people, to cooperate with security agents, because that particular community has been brought to a very bad light. So we must do everything within our power as a people, even as a government, to actually be able to apprehend those who perpetrated this crime, so that justice will be served, and at the end of the day, it will also serve as a deterrent that anybody that murder a uniformed person in Nigeria has more or less risen against the Nigerian state.
All right, Austin, let's also look at the state of the economy. It's a good thing that we're seeing the Naira appreciate, like what we're reading in the headlines this morning. And already we have the VP celebrating that. Shetima has been saying that we can see that the dollar is finally going down. But if you look at how commensurate the Naira is to the dollar, is still far apart, in spite of the fact that the Naira is gaining some strength. But now the economy, the CBN is telling us that this economy records over $1.5 billion inflow in days. Now, $1.5 billion is still not Naira. Now, is there any difference in what the CBN has been saying, that it's trying to mop up dollars and ensure that Naira becomes like the legal tender we should respect in Nigeria? But now, if you look at aggregates and how much more we grade our GDP, we grade the revenue, it has to be in dollars at all times. It's saying that's what the CBN could do. It's saying $1.5 billion fund his way back into our economy. We still glorify the dollar, even from the authorities. How then do we have the Naira go back to, let's even say, 150 Naira per dollar here?
Yes, it's a gradual process. We must admit the fact that we didn't get to the level where we are now overnight. So definitely we are not going to get out of the wound overnight. If you look at dollar, most international transactions are denominated in dollar. That is point one. We must emphasize our local currency. Dollar is acceptable anywhere in the world, but some countries have put measures in place to strengthen and to boost their local currency in such a way that you are not supposed to trade dollar cash on the street of any country apart from Nigeria, that it is rampant that people now trade dollar and people now value dollar more than the local currency. Now, what the CBN is saying is that foreign direct investments, foreign portfolio investment has come into the country to the tune of $1.5 billion US. That is what the CBN is saying. That means forex has come into the country as a way of earning. CBN roll out some policy. They are giving feedback to members of the public that as a result of our policy direction, this is the positive effect of that particular policy. That because we have done XYZ, now we have had inflow of around 1.5 billion. That is why this and some other factor contributed to the strength of the Naira in recent time. So that is what the CBN is saying. It's not as if the CBN is glorifying the dollar above the naira. For example, if we sell crude oil, we are going to get dollar in return. If we sell, for example, we export cocoa, we are going to get forex in return. If we produce, a lot of people are saying, oh, we need to produce. That is the way to go, for example. If we are able to produce, first of all, we meet local consumption and we engage in massive exportation of this product. What are we going to get in return? We are going to get forex. Nobody is saying that dollar cannot be used in Nigeria. Like I just told you, dollar is one of the strongest currency of the world, and most of the international transactions are denominated in dollars. So we can't completely remove or overrule the effect of dollar in our economy. But the point we are making is that we must never at any point in time, as a people or even as a government, dollarize our economy. We must take urgent and purposeful steps to strengthen our own local currency, which is the naira. So what the CBN is just saying is that, oh, we have been able to earn some forex as a result of the policy that have been put in place. For example, the CBN has been able to clear the backlog of forex claims and obligations. That is a very good one. What that suggests largely to the international community is that Nigeria can be trusted once again, because we enter into some of these obligations willingly, and it is so sad that we find once upon a time in the history of Nigeria where our government as a sovereign nation will enter into an agreement and will breach the agreement on their own.
All right, Austin.
So now,
for the ordinary man on the streets, when all of these big words have been used by financial experts and of course those who are captain of industries within our financial sector, how does it translate into a good life for many businesses and for many lives in Nigeria? If you say, for instance, we're having this kind of inflow, how many SMEs are benefiting? How many people, for instance, could now say that, yes, there's an enabling environment for their businesses to strive, or possibly the opportunities for people to get employed? What's the essence of some of this? We've been hearing this for time immemorial. Money is coming into Nigeria. For instance, we've seen the Abacha loot over time, and now we're having this also in this administration of, oh, monies are coming in. How does it translate into wealth for the ordinary Nigerians on the streets?
Yes, definitely it's not going to translate to a meaningful life for Nigerians at the short run. That's just the truth. These are economic policy. We have what we call short-term measure, medium and long-term. What this is it simply means is that until and unless the economy fully stabilizes, we can't get the impact. If we have a foreign portfolio investment coming into Nigeria, that will help to stabilize the forex market. Don't forget, you use foreign reserve as for example, to stabilize the forex market. But our foreign reserve before now have been depleted. Under the last administration, we were erroneously told or maliciously told that we have close to 35 billion US dollar in our foreign reserve, until JP Morgan conducted a forensic audit, and we only discovered that we had around 3 billion US dollar. It has been depleted. The last time we had that was under Jonathan, and it was not that even too bad up until what the last administration did. Having said that, when CBN cleared this backlog, everything continued to go up. So it's not a rocket science. Like I said earlier, Nigerians, we must understand the fact that we have been in this mess for a very long time. So we are not going to get out of it. One of the effects that you have just seen is that in the last 1 or 2 weeks, the naira has really stabilized, except we want to deceive ourselves. The naira has really stabilized. And if we have continuous stability of the naira, the CBN is able to remove volatility, then we begin to see impact in terms of job creation. Even if you look at it today, it has not still affected positively the prices of goods and services in the country. Because now, there was a time dollar around February, for example, USD was around 1,900. and I think a bag of rice maybe 75,000. Now I think a bag of rice is around 80 something thousand. So it is not still really impactful yet because of the human factor, because a lot of people are bent on destroying the economy of Nigeria in their own little way, especially those that are capitalists, those that are business owners. They want to ensure that the price continue to go up. It got to a point in Nigeria that even some economists, some prophet of doom, had to come out to say that Naira will trade for 2,500. But now it is gradually coming down as a result of the policy of government through the Central Bank of Nigeria. So we are not expecting magic. We are not expecting rocket science. Oh, we now start seeing job on the street. We see food on the table of the people. No, it will take a gradual process. When the volatility is removed, confidence is reposed back into the system. Those that are outside the country can now freely come to Nigeria and do business in Nigeria and invest in Nigeria. Then gradually the economy will start rebounding. That is the process that we have. So it's not something that will just happen overnight because we have just 1.5 billion foreign investment into the country and we'll say that, oh, that is the end of it. No, a lot of steps that have been taken by government, they have the capacity to attract more investment. They have the capacity to stabilize the system, especially the forest market, because an average businessman, whether local or international, want to get return on their investment. The purpose of investment is to get return. So when they see that the market is relatively stable, when they see that the government is sincere, they will want to bring in their money, and at the end of the day, they get return on their investment. So we now have economic revolving, and things began to peak gradually. So it's not something that will happen overnight. Some of the problems that we are having today, they are as a result of bad economic policy and lack of political will of successive administration. Imagine if we have done some of these things like 20 years ago or 15 years ago, we would have cried then, and by now, gradually things will have started easing up. But it's just like postponing the evil day. But it is what it is already. So this government must put in their best to ensure that they rebound the economy, they pursue right economic policy to be able to ensure that we get stability within the system, attract enough investment, and at the end of the day, it will make meaningful impact in the lives of the people.
All right, Austin, let's also look at this one. Circular Road, Makinde ejected from 70 billion naira to 300 billion naira in 5 years. Demolition people's houses for selfish interest. And that is coming from APC. The APC in Oyo State appears to be playing the opposition now. I don't know if this is a quick one, or I don't know how much more this will get at the PDP. But the thing is that, is this constructive enough? Because if you look at the story, it says the All Progressives Congress, APC in Oyo State, has cried out over alleged monumental fraud, which the party claimed it discovered in the partial execution of Ibadan Circular Road project, warning the administration of Governor Seyi Makinde that the unbiased, unabated corruption being perpetrated by the ruling People's Democratic Party could plunge the state into irredeemable doom in the nearest future. Now, would we say this is a constructive criticism, or they're just trying to get at the PDP because before you know it, another elections comes around?
Yes, the purpose of a democracy, or the beauty of democracy, is the opposition. We must have opposition, and another purpose of criticism is constructive. The criticism must be constructive. We must not just come up with criticism because we are politicians, we belong to the opposition party. Of course, as politicians, they may be doing their job. You must come up with incontrovertible facts and evidence when you raise issues like this. I do not know the circumstances that warranted the project to be reviewed from 70 billion to around 300 billion. I do not know, but one of it will be inflation. We are talking about the forest market now. For example, look at the prices of construction materials 5 years ago and now. So that is one factor that we can't take away. I'm aware and I know that even if it were to still be APC in government, the value of that project 5 years ago cannot still be the value of the project now. That's just the truth of the matter. So let us not deceive ourselves. In as much as they want to play the opposition card, they must also be constructive about it, except in the case that they have valid proof of evidence that the governor inflated this contract for the purpose of kickback, and they must provide evidence. If they cannot provide evidence, that's it. Because we have been on this circular road for a longer time. There have been projects even under the former administration of Oyo State, the APC administration, that were reviewed. Some of them were also inflated around that particular point in time. I don't want to mention the road. There was a case that we investigated, one of the road contracts, when 𝐂𝐈𝐒 just came on board, the road that was awarded by the last administration. I think they paid contractor 1.5 billion. When the impact assessment was carried out, I think the total work done was around 200 million. So where did the money go to? So politicians, they know themselves, that is what they do. The Ibadan Circular Road is a type of road construction that will open up economic activity in Ibadan. It has the capacity to boost economy of Oyo State and Ibadan in particular. So if the government, the last government awarded that contract, they bettered the contract, the project, and this government is saying, oh, we must do everything within our power to complete it. Certainly, the price 5 years ago cannot be the same price at this particular point in time.
Shouldn't the governor, like sorry, Austin, for butting in, but for just not just for 𝐂𝐈𝐒, shouldn't the governors start thinking of how much more they can make their audit public? For instance, you constructed a road. Why shouldn't it be made open so that every Nigerians know? So if you're coming out to say something, people could say, no, we have the facts. And these are what the government spent on. This was their expenditure. Why is it so difficult to assess the expenditure of government in Nigeria? For instance, many states, it's not available anywhere. If you have to do investigations on that, sometimes journalists have to go undercover. Why do you have to go through all those stress when we have a digital system all over the world where you can access information? And do you also remember that we have the Freedom of Information Act itself? Why is it so difficult that all of these things are not made public? For instance, anybody can come from anywhere to say certain things when the information is available everywhere.
Yes, it's a sorry situation. Like we have just also observed, it's not peculiar to Oyo State. It's peculiar to all the states in Nigeria and even the federal government. Government business is still being done with utmost secrecy, which is not supposed to be so, because everything that has to do with government ought to be public. But what I also know is that when road is being constructed, especially during commissioning, the government will reel out, oh, this is the amount that we have spent on this construction. But the truth of the matter is that the amount that is quoted, is it the whole amount that has gone into the project, or there are some part of the fund that went into settlement or what have you? You understand? So it's a major problem that we have in Nigeria. I think in the days ahead, we must come up with robust legislative intervention to be able to track government fund. We must be able to track government fund, because every government wants to do project. Oh, we are doing road construction. But at the end of the day, you begin to wonder at what cost? At what cost? We are doing those projects. At what cost to taxpayers' money? So in as much as those projects are very good, of course, some government officials, even governors, they use projects to siphon our public fund. So we must get to a level in Nigeria where even citizens, whoever you are, you should be able to track government fund. It should be open. Go to the website, click on Ibadan Circular Road, look at the amount, look at the breakdown, look at the analysis, the cost analysis of what is going into that project. But I don't think we are there yet, and I still think we have a long way to go as far as that is concerned. If you ask me whether expenses of government ought to be public, I will tell you yes. But is it public today? No. Is it good? No. What should be done? Let it be public as we go on, and let governors and government officials try as much as possible to be accountable to the people. Because if you are not telling us the amount that we have spent, it means that we are not really accountable to the people. That is what it means. It's very nice to construct good roads, to build schools, and do all of this. At what cost to taxpayers' money? That is the issue.
All right, still talking about construction now. I don't know if this is a waste for us as a country. Now, we have Umahi asking the National Assembly here. This is one of the headlines on Punch newspaper. Declare emergency on 2 Lagos bridges. Umahi urged National Assembly. And he's talking about the third mainland bridge and Keita bridge in Lagos State here. Now, he said it will cost the country 6 trillion naira to reconstruct or to rebuild the third mainland bridge, and it could be a disaster if that is not done in good time. And now he said the more reason why these bridges are deteriorating is talking about vandalism. People are going there, do natural underwater current. Some of them are mining sand there. Some are even rusting the steel, that have been casted on the bridges. Now, would we not say this is a total wastage? Because the government can't continue to build and somebody somewhere comes and vandalize it, and the government will say that they're going to spend another trillions of naira. Shouldn't there be some sort of a monitoring mechanism? How easy is it for people to go mine under a bridge that they know that it's an economic epicenter for a state and it links to several places in Lagos State, for instance? Shouldn't the government, for Christ's sake, have some sort of monitoring mechanism that they can put in place so that things like this could be avoided and wastage could be stopped?
Yes, government should have a measure in place. Apart from this project that we are talking about, the maintenance culture. When you talk about maintenance culture, we also need to talk about ownership mentality. If the government is by the people and for the people, whatever infrastructure that is built, the rate at which citizens destroy public infrastructure in Nigeria, in short, it is alarming. It's one of the worst anywhere in the world. You see you see people destroying public facility. You see some people, they will gather themselves, they will say they are angry, they are protesting, they will set bonfire on road, third road, and you know fully well that this will cause damage, will make the road to fail, but we will still go ahead to do it. The government is not good. The people too, they are not even better. That's the truth. And it's the same scenario because those in government, they emerge from among the people. Those that are leaders today were followers yesterday. So we have issue with our leadership. We also have issue with our followership structure in the country. Because the maintenance culture, we have vandalism. Look at Abuja, for example. When Wike came on board, he inspected government facility. He saw high level of vandalism, ongoing construction. You see people cutting away construction materials. It's as bad as that. So it's a culture of impunity that we have to change. Because a lot of us cast aspersion on those in government. Oh, they are thieves, they steal our money, they do all of that. So it has gotten to a level where there's no patriotism again. An average Nigerian want to help themselves. And don't forget, whatever that can give an average Nigerian money, whether it is detrimental to the life of another, they don't really care. And it ought not to be so. So rather than engaging in reconstruction, let government also beef up security in terms of if we employ people to secure pipeline, for example, we can also employ task force, people that will go about this government facility, because if anything happen to third mainland bridge, all of us are in trouble. That is what it means. A lot of things will go for it. That is why anytime there is a failed portion on the third mainland bridge, it's always a big problem, because there are people who do business from hand to hand. On a daily basis, they have to go to the highland. So it's very difficult to be able to track all these things. So let government put measure in place, and we must own some of this infrastructure. The people must own this infrastructure. It does not make sense for government, because it will still be our money. It will still be waste of the same taxpayers' money that properties or infrastructure are built, and you see people vandalizing, destroying this infrastructure, and government will come back again, vote money for such infrastructure. It does not do us good. So it means that we are just doing harm to ourselves as a people. So government on their own part must ensure that once we build this public infrastructure, we look for a way to secure them. CCTV camera, for example, can also help us out in some of these cases. And the people too, we must know that if we destroy this public infrastructure, we will still be the one to pay for it directly or indirectly. So it is neither here nor there.
All right, Austin, hospitals lament poor power supply, declining healthcare, and of course here in Oyo State, you also have a number of people protesting at UCH saying that the power outages are just too much. The equipment are not being used. Patients are not even having access to power. Imagine somebody in maternity ward not having light to give birth at UCH. And a number of the staff came out, for instance, to protest. That was yesterday. And of course, some of the caption of this headline too also say even across private and public hospitals in the country, they've been power supply situation dwindling because of the high cost of diesel and petrol. Now they can't even sustain power at the hospital. Is this not a monumental disaster for us as a nation?
Yes, it's a big problem. There have been epileptic power supply. I think during this week the national grid collapsed again. I think it has been restored now, maybe some hours ago. I think the UCH issue is an isolated issue. UCH is showing IBDC.
Yes, the debt.
Are you with me?
Yes, I'm with you. The debt.
Yeah. Yes, UCH is showing IBDC close to 500 million. You know, another culture of impunity that we have built over the year is this inability or making up our mind not to pay for electricity bill. How can an institution like UCH be owing that much? Look at that backlog. And they come up with flippy and parochial excuse that, it is an accumulated bill for over 4 years. We want IBDC, we want discos to perform, and yet we are owing them. We the citizens, will be the one to steal energy by meter bypass. We will be the one to vandalize their power infrastructure. We will still be the one to complain about poor service. So UCH case is an isolated case. They should go to IBDC, reach an agreement. They must service that amount. Have you forgotten that I think few months ago, Aso Rock Villa was also quoted to be owing billions of naira. The defense headquarters owing billions of naira. Most government agencies don't pay electricity bill, and we complain and condemn discos. How do we want them to be in business? So UCH should sit up, and the best bet for them, because of the price of diesel and what have you, is electricity. So let them go and service their debt. It is not just enough to gather yourself and start protesting. There are some protests that will not hold water. If I pay electricity in my house, UCH should be able to pay electricity bill. After all, if I go to UCH to seek their service, they collect money from me. Even the poorest of the poor, if they access facility in UCH, if their money is remaining 5,000, just 5,000, they won't allow them to go. They will collect their money. So why are you owing IBDC?
All right,
and they are now calling for the minister that they should help them, they should write off the debt. Government is not giving them enough money. What are you using your own money to do?
All right,
so they must service electricity bill is compulsory.
Okay, we'll get back to these very shortly. We have to pay some bills right about now. We'll be back very shortly. Please do stay with us.
You're listening to 32 FM 94.9.
ẹ kú ìnáwó òwúyè ẹ sì kú ìnáwó ìyàwó dórí sísí ilé tuntun àwòdámiẹnu ẹ kú ìnáwó ọjọ́ bí ẹ sì kú ìnáwó retirement ẹ dájú ẹ sọ́nà yóò kò láyọ̀ o àmọ́ mo fẹ́ rán yín létí kinní kan ni gbogbo ètò ló ti tò kalẹ̀ yìí tẹ náwó rẹpẹtẹ ẹ ti sanwó eléré ẹ sanwó aláṣẹ onígbàgàrí àti gba tiẹ̀ ẹ sanwó ráìsà dórí àwọn bánsà àmọ́ ṣá o ó kú kinní kan tẹ́ ẹ kà sí ṣùgbọ́n tó yẹ ká ẹ náwó gidi lé lórí ìyẹn gangan ni Parrot Extra Magazine ni wọ́n ṣe rán yín létí pé gbogbo ìnáwó tẹ́ fẹ́ ṣe yẹ kó lákọọ́lẹ̀ pẹ̀lú ìtàn tó rọ̀ mọ́ àti máa ṣe bọ̀ rẹ nínú ayé lórí àwòrán ojúlùmọ̀ ọ̀rẹ́ alájọbí tẹ́ bá ya fọ́tò lójú agbo kì í sọnù ó sọdún 12 ló tún fẹ́ tún yẹ̀ wò tọ́ lọ náwó sínú àká fún àwọn ìran tó ń bọ̀ lẹ́yìn àkọọ́lẹ̀ kì í parẹ́ o Parrot Extra Magazine làwọn tó láròjinlẹ̀ ń lò fún gbogbo ayẹyẹ wọn ilé ìjọba gan òfin wọn ṣeré lórí ilé iṣẹ́ àdáni Parrot Extra oníkọ̀ọ̀kan sí tó bá láyẹyẹ ṣe o 08055001736 0805500 1736 lórí ẹ̀rọ ayélujára www.pmparrot.com kàn sí PM Parrot káyẹyẹ rẹ̀ ó gbìnàyà.
If you've not tried us, here's why you're missing out. First, we're a licensed microfinance bank. Also, get our reliable POS when you open a business account or a debit card that works with a personal account. You can instantly open an account from anywhere for reliability, security, convenience, and speed. You only need one bank. MoneyPoint! Download the app or find an agent near you to get started. MoneyPoint, powering dreams.
Ìbáàjẹ́ 24, 29 tàbí 32 ṣáà ti fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀ pẹ̀lú wa lórí gbogbo ìkànnì ìbánidọ́rẹ̀ẹ́ kàn tẹ 32FM949 fẹ̀yìn ẹ̀.
It's Ramadan. Come on board. Let's go on a tour to the top restaurants where you can enjoy the best of the season. First stop is Charity Cafe. Here, the currency is sharing, so keep giving. Next stop is Kindness Bistro. Be the kindest you can be. Last but not the least, make a stop by at Forgiveness Drive-Thru and let go of every beef. And at Sahur and Iftar, bring it home with the goodness of great tasting meals with Noor. This Ramadan, don't just eat for good. Share the good and be the good. Noor, eat for good.
Get in on the action with Betano, your exciting destination for sports betting. Enjoy an award-winning experience with amazing betting options, cash outs and missions, as well as other features. Join now and get a welcome bonus of up to 200,000 naira. Betano.ng, the game starts now.
For the top 10 banging songs across Nigeria,
top 10 super songs across Africa,
the Top 10 Countdown is your show.
Saturdays 12 to 1 p.m. with 𝐷𝐾𝐈𝐒 and King Kenny.
Ramadan day oṣù ìkẹlọ́jà Ramadan day oṣù àlùbáríkà ní 32 FM 94.9 àjàkẹ́rin Cocoa House náà wà nìbàdàn ọ̀nà ń kí wa pé a kú àmójúbà o múmi náà máa kú ọdún ó mà tún ti yá ká wá ṣiṣẹ́ ládàá ká so nígbọ̀wọ́ ètò iye tágbára bá ká ìṣẹ́jú márùn-ún mẹ́wàá tàbí ìṣẹ́jú mẹ́ẹ̀ẹ́dógún ọgbọ̀n ìṣẹ́jú wákàtí kan lówó kékeré ọyọ́ kàgbéra ká lọ rà lága Ramadan hello Mr. Ayédùn 07083196095 àwọn gan ló máa gbé tàbí kẹ́pẹ́ Yusuf lórí nọ́mbà yìí 08146113680 àwọn ló máa gbé Ramadan yìí máa dùn wá ó sọ̀pọ̀ ọdún.
Feel better about your life.
32 FM 94.9, the antidote to depression. 32 FM 94.9.
All right, you're welcome back. You're still on to Break It On People's Review. And of course, we reel out the phone numbers right about now to take your calls. Okay, we still have Austin Uduma joining us virtually. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
This is John Oladiwaju calling from Majo.
All right, please go ahead, John.
Thank you. On the issue of soldier, I think Nigerians frowned out with the action of those that killed the soldier. But the action that followed it after the death of the soldier, the action the soldier took, I think, to me personally, I did not welcome it. And I know some Nigerians condemn it. Because if they can condemn the civilians, that we should not take the jungle justice, I think it's supposed to cover them too, that they should not take the justice from their hand, that they should allow the constitution of the land to take justice. And number two is that they did not even give the journalists opportunity to cover the incident. So, in which, if anybody say anything against them, I think they are right, because the journalists are supposed to cover it, and they will bring out what transpired in that area. So to me, that showed that the soldier, the army took by going there and just take the justice by themselves is condemnable. So, to me, thank you. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Olarajo, for calling us there. And of course, the numbers are 070-550-949 or 080-970-949. For international audience, plus 234-90-62,949. Those are the numbers to call. Hello, good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Good morning, okay.
Okay. Austin, good morning. Actually, on the Okwama killing and the way the soldiers handled this issue, I have a little challenge. If you remember Adokia, from the last case that he had, it was thrown away. Why? The military started it wrongly. The first question we ask is, do they really have the right? Hello? Hello?
We can hear you. We can hear you, okay. Please go ahead.
Do they have the right to declare a civilian wanted? Should it not have been the case of the police? Don't we think if this gets to the court, those innocent soldiers died, they were wasted for nothing? That is part of the thing. The recklessness and the carelessness of the way we handle issues. Actually, at the end of when it gets to the court, we end up losing it. These soldiers, I hope they did not die wastefully. Please, that's what I want to ask on this. And of course, Austin, Nigerians, you talked about the UCH and what there is a particular experience. They were easily rechargeable. It's a shame and a pity on this nation we call great. Well, let's hope this country will get to somewhere tomorrow. Good morning. This is okay.
Thank you so much, okay, for that. And of course, the numbers again are 070-550-949, 080-970-949. And for international audience, plus 234-90-62,949. Do remember we are also live on Facebook, and that is 32FM 949 Ibadan, or the Feyie or double A. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm fine. What's the name of where you're calling us from?
It's Shola from Iwood.
All right, please go ahead, Shola.
Yes, I want to take up the analysis. When he said this thing will not come down magically, but they went up magically. Can you say in 2023, a bag of rice was not even 30,000, and it's now going to 90,000 naira? Was that not magical? And the days of the Jonathan, it was not even 8,000. And you are saying the government is trying, they are doing this, but we will not see it. Why don't we see it? What are they doing? You can't even see naira now in the bank, not even in the ATM or all these machines. They are dry up. And you are saying the government is doing, what are they doing? Government is there to make things easy for people. They are making these things because you say they are trying. They are just making money for themselves. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Shola, for that. Austin Idume will react very shortly. The numbers are 070-550-949. We have another caller. Do remember we also live on Facebook, 32FM 949 Ibadan. Good morning.
Good morning, GBOLABO.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Austin. My name is Wingamari. I call from Apata.
All right, please go ahead.
On road construction embarked upon by most governors, to me is a means just for them to allocate some money to their coffers. Just in the course of the week, Anambra State Governor, Charles Soludo, look at the road he constructed in his own state. And the rain just fell. And I don't know if you see the video. And the rain washed away billions of naira of road projects. So who's willing who now in the airport? On the issue of the usage staff protesting yesterday, this is making big money. So I wonder why they're still going IBDC. If they're going IBDC, there's no way they will be able to acquire your hospital. So I think the issue is people should be proactive enough to ensure that they settle their bills with IBDC so that everything can be normal again. Thank you, Mr. Austin. You are an asset to 94.9 FM. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that. And of course, let's quickly look at Facebook and also take some comment here. We have the son from Okidino Babatunde. It says the king has been taken to Abuja for investigation. The man will have to access his lawyer and provide information. The lawyer will guard so that the right of the man can be upheld. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Adeshu from UI.
All right, please go ahead, Adeshu.
Let's just pray for Africa. countries in Africa, they are not, since we are not, I don't want to describe us as something foul on the air. We sympathize with the killers, with the killed soldiers, all of us are rebelling in totality. Well, my worry is that we can't use that to the major person that these soldiers are always been protecting, that the people of that environment are complaining about. And in Tongolo, that they're celebrating people's birthday to share day. I can't say peace Tongolo. Anybody that say anything, the monarch that the visit of soldiers comment, they will declare them wanted. Africa is not a continent. Let's just pray for it. It's not like Nigeria. That's how government of this. Just because they develop a just work for them. So these soldiers are protecting you. So please, I beg you, for country. Nigeria is not a foreign country. That's better to do.
All right, thank you so much, Adesi. Your time is fast spent. We quickly look at this one on Facebook, and of course, we take this one as our last one. And he says, Adebayo Timileyin T-Boy says, very impressive. God bless you. God bless you too for joining the program. Raji Afiz Abiola Raja says, good morning, GBOLABO. About the Mambila Power Project, honestly, if the government of the day can complete long overdue power project, it will be a positive one and will also no doubt improve Nigeria. And of course, we must say a big thank you to Austin Edume for joining us this morning to do the paper analysis. Thank you so much, Austin, and to all our callers and all those who viewed us on our socials and those who dropped your messages. We also say a big thank you. My name is GBOLABO, famous school. Do have the best of the day and join Baba Fender very soon. Bye for now.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are